Welcome to a brand new series where I take a look at all the latest news and happenings in Starfield. We're going to dive through a whole bunch of things from both Bethesda themselves as well as the community at large. Now there's quite a lot of different things going on out there, and hopefully the idea here is to curate everything together so that you get easy access, one-stop shop to all the latest information. This week then, we've got the latest patch for Starfield. There's some fantastic mods for Starfield that you may not have heard about yet, and of course some builds for the most iconic ships in Sci-Fi. The first patch for Starfield then dropped just a few days ago. It was around about 2 GB in size and was version number 1.7.29. It brought some performance and stability fixes to the Xbox Series X and S, as well as a handful of fixes to a number of quests, specifically All That Money Can Buy quest, Into the Unknown, as well as Shadows in Neon. All in all then, a fairly small patch, although don't forget there was a much larger patch back on the 31st of August before anyone actually got hold of the game. Meanwhile, Bethesda have indicated that there are bigger things to come for Starfield's future, and this includes an update that will bring city maps, finally a long requested feature, and of course a few other things which include brightness and contrast controls, HDR calibration menu, FOV slider, Nvidia DLSS support, that one's a big one, 32.9 ultra-wide monitor support, as well as, have a guess what the next one is, it's an eat button for food, I think. Yeah, not a big feature there, but nonetheless a reasonably decent quality of life update. Now, arguably the largest piece of information from Bethesda about Starfield this week was the announcement that the Creation Kit will be releasing early next year. Hopefully that's not going to be any later than March or so, because ultimately, like many people, are really looking forward to seeing what modders can deliver to this game once they get their hands on that Creation Kit. Bethesda have also said that they're going to have built-in mod support to the game, and that this will work much like Skyrim and Fallout 4. It seems they're going to be calling this service Creations. Hopefully, it's not too close to being like a Creation Club, but time will tell on that front. Talking of mods then, let's take a look at some of the most interesting mods that have released over the past week or so. We're going to start with a nice little mod here for Vasco. This is the robotic companion that can follow you, well, pretty much anywhere you want. The mod changes Vasco's voice into the voice of Legion from the Mass Effect series, and this is an actual, in my opinion at least, a very, very good robotic voice. It was originally voiced by DC Douglas. Now, Vasco's voice has been transformed in this mod via a voice conversion utility known as RVC Web UI. Have a listen to this example of the voice right here. Let me know what you think in the comment section.
Constellation has seen to it that I possess a near encyclopedic knowledge of human history, art, culture, and science. May I answer a question for you?
In my opinion then, this is a great conversion. It does really very much sound like Legion from Mass Effect. Now, the modder has said that there's over 2,000 voice lines to consider, and not every one of these has been tested. But that said, it appears the results are pretty good, with just the maybe occasional problems, the occasional issues. If this is something you want to test out for yourself, do check out the links in the video description. Now, moving away from this aesthetic type of mod to a more practical one, we come to StarUI Inventory. This is an overhaul of the UI in Starfield and makes it much more similar, much more useful to that of what you may find in a traditional or typical PC game. Now, speaking for myself, I found the vanilla menu to be pretty difficult to come to grips with. There's a lot of information there that isn't always immediately apparent. The new mod here though, StarUI, really does display everything you need to know very easily and very clearly. This mod is extremely easy to install. It's just a few downloads, and you just have to mod one file, I do believe, if I recall it correctly. Very straightforward. I'll link this and the Vasco one in the video description. Now, for those of you wondering about how these mods work, these may be new to you. You're going to have to be on PC to use these. Fortunately, each mod can be found on the website Nexus Mods, and they'll come with instructions on how to use each of them. Each mod is, generally speaking, installed in a slightly different way, but for the most part, they're pretty straightforward. Unfortunately, for those of you who plan on Xbox, you won't be able to use any of these mods just yet, but hopefully as soon as Bethesda release the creations as well as the creation kit, which will really start opening things up for you. Again, we'll stick with mods for just a moment longer. We've got another one here. This one's been out for a little while longer. Well, we can actually see it's had 600,000 downloads, so this one is very popular. It's called Starfield Upscaler, and it replaces AMD FSR 2 with DLSS or XESS, depending on whether you want NVIDIA or Intel support. Now, I've seen quite a lot of people say that this does bring quite a performance boost for them in Starfield, although some of the opinions, some of the comments I've seen have also been mixed, with some people saying they haven't seen too much in the way of improvement from using this mod. Either way, it's certainly well worth trying out. I haven't personally tried this one myself just yet. I'm currently running a Starfield on an RTX 4090, so running with this modified DLSS probably wouldn't really give me much in the way of too much improvements that I could report back on. Later, if there's interest in this, I will test it on another PC. I do have access to a couple of other graphics cards as well, so if that seems of interest to you, do let me know. Right, so let's move on to spaceship builds. There's a whole load of different ship builds that have come out from the community over the past week or two, and some of these are truly exceptional. I've got two different examples and I really want to highlight to you. Both of these are truly iconic sci-fi ships. We start then again with another Mass Effect reference. This time it's the Normandy. Now you can see a little bit of footage being played on the screen right here. This is from YouTuber Bizzle, and I highly recommend checking out the full video in the link in the description below, as it will teach you how to build this particular ship if you want to do it. Now you can see from certain angles that this does indeed look quite like the Normandy. Obviously, Starfield doesn't have the exact required parts to get 100% accurate build here, but this, to my eyes at least, is very close, or at least as close as we're going to get with Starfield. Maybe a little bit more utilitarian and avoiding some of the nice sleek lines that Normandy had in Mass Effect, but nonetheless, this is definitely a really nice build. And then we move on to another very iconic starship. This is the Rocinante from The Expanse. Now this one looks a little bit more lore accurate because obviously it is a utilitarian design originally, and Starfield really does excel at doing utilitarian designs itself. This one is coming from YouTuber Vantagenesis. Again, the full video contains everything you need to know in order to build this ship for yourself. Do check out both those videos. I've made sure to link them in the video description, along with all the other information that this video contains. So that brings us to the end of this video. I do hope it's been of use to you. Please let me know in the comments section below. In future, what sort of topics would you like to see me cover when it comes to community news and events that are going on around Starfield? The idea, as I said at the start, is to kind of curate all this information together to make a one-stop shop, easy access information available to all you viewers out there. There's a lot going on, so hopefully this should be a good way of keeping track of everything. Do let me know what you think about all of this, and additionally, if you'd like to see any other types of videos, do please let me know. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.